Try to think what is the difference between solid and liquid in terms of stress term.
Solids have definite shape but not liquids.
Very good. This is one of the difference between your solid and liquid. Okay. However, I am looking for in terms of some stress. Okay. This
Sir,
question I am giving
maybe
you. Okay. Yes.
Packed in solid, sir.
Fluids can't sustain in shear force, but solids can sustain in shear force.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Answers are coming out. I am very happy to see this. One more term I would like to tell here, Hooke's law. You have studied in your solid mechanics or design subject. Okay. Hooke's law, what Hooke's law is saying? Hooke's law is saying your stress is directly proportional to strain. Okay. I would like to show you something. Just this topic arise, so I would like to clarify one thing. Okay. This portion will be visible, I think. Yeah. We all know that as per Hooke's law, stress is proportional to strain. Means this sigma is your stress and this is your strain. This is very helpful those who are expecting to prepare for your any competitive examination or any interview. This question I am correlating solid and liquid. Okay. One thing, this we know as per Hooke's law. As per Hooke's law, we know that stress represented by sigma is directly proportional to strain. So to remove this sign of proportionality, we introduce one capital E, that is your Young's modulus of elasticity. So we can write sigma equals to E into epsilon. Okay, so this is your stress and this is your strain and this is your Young's modulus of elasticity. But as per your Newton's law of viscosity, what is there? Tau. Newton's law of viscosity states shear stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain. Okay, or velocity gradient. So we write du upon dy. Okay, and to remove this constant of proportionality, we bring one constant term, that is mu, dynamic coefficient of viscosity, du upon dy, and this is equals to your shear stress tau. So to remember that term, rate of shear strain, one statement is what? Stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain. Rate of shear strain. If you will see the unit of U, here what is U? Anyone in the class?
velocity component, sir.
Very good. Meter per second. Is this visible to what I am writing out?
No, sir.
Not visible. In my computer, it is clearly visible. That LAN to cable is not working. I am using Wi-Fi. Maybe some TP link or something like that, it will support. Okay, I am taking the class. I will talk after. Wi-Fi. No, no. Wi-Fi. 18. Huh? But it is sometimes it is breaking. Second hour. No, 11 o'clock. Second hour. Third hour. Okay. So here you can see the unit of this U is meter per second and the unit of this Y is your meter. Okay. If you will see, meter and meter will get cancelled, and for this term, du upon dy, what we will get? We will get per second. Okay. So that's why for Newton's law of viscosity, we also state that stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain. Okay, so this you can keep in your mind. In solid, we say for solid, we used to say stress is directly proportional to strain, but for the case of liquid, this is your liquid, we used to say stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain. Okay, this is important interview questions. Those who are preparing for PSUs and different competitive examination, in interview they will ask you tricky questions. Okay, you know the answer, but they will just twist it so that you will get confused. So you can keep this in your mind. For solid, stress is directly proportional to strain. For liquid, we used to say stress is directly proportional to rate of shear strain. Okay. Again, I will come back to my PPT slide. Yeah. So we were talking about your boundary layer theory. This is very important concept for any competitive examination. So just in interview also they used to ask definition of this, what is boundary layer. So we have seen at the interface of the solid, the velocity of fluid flowing through this interface is 0. Okay. And slowly by slowly, as the layers will keep on increasing, we all know that the fluid is flowing in layers. Okay. So as we know that, just if you will move just above this point, let me erase this for clear visibility. Yeah. You can see at this location, I'm pointing it out, just at the surface, the velocity will be 0. And when you will move across this length, the height of the fluid flow, you will see there will be certain velocity gradient, and at this location it will increase to some value. At this location it will increase to some value. At this location it will further increase. Means it different layers, the velocity will increase, and once it will reach a one point at this location where the velocity of the layer of the fluid is equal to the mainstream velocity, that is represented by capital U. Okay. So here you can observe that one velocity gradient is there. One velocity gradient is there. And how it is representing? If I would like to represent it with a graph, here you can see in green color, the velocity is varying like this. At the point of intersection with the solid, it is equals to 0. And the velocity goes on increasing, and at one point it will reach where the velocity will be equals to your mainstream velocity. Okay, so from the solid interface at this location up to this location, It is called as your boundary layer. Okay, it is called as boundary layer, and I hope the concept is now clear to all of you. I have shown it for the upper part of the solid. I have shown it for the upper part of the solid. Same is the case in the bottom side also. Wherever there will be fluid and there is interaction with any solid surface, same thing will happen. There will be some velocity gradient. Okay, there will be some velocity gradient across the flow. Okay, when the fluid suppose is flowing in this direction, the fluid is flowing in this direction, and at this location some interface is there. So there will be small boundary layer will be there. That is called as boundary layer. This concept is very important if you want to pursue higher studies also. This will be very helpful. Okay. Now, whether this concept is clear to all of you or not, you tell me in the chat box, then I will move ahead. Type CS for clear, sir. If you have doubt, you ask me, I will clarify it. I am expecting for your response, my dear students. Only one student has typed what I consider you do not understand this concept. If you do not understand, you write not clear, sir. Please explain it once again. I will explain it. For your viva, for your external examination theory question, I'm telling you, theory question, it can be asked. Okay. And for competitive examination point of view, this is very, very important. Okay. So one student is asking some question. Is there any velocity drop in bottom layer, sir? Yes, definitely. Uh, at the bottom layer, why it is happening actually, if you will think, okay, why it is happening? Suppose this is your bottom layer. This is the layer across which your fluid was flowing. If I will be having some different color chalk now, then I will draw it on the board and I will show you. Just wait. Today I want to make you people feel I have bring all the setup in the classroom so that I can write something on the board also if required. Suppose there is one object. Let us consider we all have seen aeroplane. Okay. So we know what is the shape of aerofoil. Something like this. This is suppose an aerofoil, or you can say the side view of your aeroplane wing or any object of this size, this shape. Okay. I'm hatching it for clear visibility. This is my object. And what I'm saying that some fluid is flowing across it. Okay. So let me draw that fluid with blue color. And after some time, you will see it is going in a straight line. It is going in a straight line. Okay. I am showing you just on the upper half of this object. Okay. You can consider symmetry just below this center line. Okay. So what is happening here, as I have told you earlier also, fluid flow in layers, in different layers. Okay. Fluid flow in different layers. And in between these two layers, the molecules are interacting. Molecules are
Mama, pizza kata?
interacting with each other. Mute yourself. From background, some noise is coming. Okay, we all know that energy transfer within the gases or fluid takes place due to momentum transfer. Keep in your mind. And transfer helps because the molecules are interacting with each other, they are colliding with each other, and momentum transfers occur. So due to these layers, some stresses are in between those layers, and that stress we call it as shear stress, that we have studied in your Newton's law. Okay. So we write tau equals to mu into du upon dy. So in between, some stress is there between all the molecular layers. So I will draw here one straight line. Now consider the velocity of fluid at this point. Just at the interface of your solid. At this location, the velocity of molecules on the solid surface is 0. Now, the question that you have asked in the chat box, okay, here
Yes, sir.
velocity is 0. Just beyond it, what will happen? The amount of shear stress will reduce. Amount of shear stress will reduce. So velocity will increase in little amount. Okay. So suppose here u equals to 0. For this line, u equals to 0. For this line, u will be greater than 0. Some value will be there. At this location, suppose this is u1, this is u2. Velocity of fluid in layer number 2. What will happen in layer number 3? u3. It will be greater than u2. For layer number 4, u4 will be greater than u3. Likewise, if you will come to this layer, what will happen? Your u5 will be equal to capital U. And what is your capital U? Capital U is your free stream velocity. Okay. So this is how, if you will draw the diagram, it will go like this. This is the velocity profile I am drawing. This is the velocity profile. Okay, so you can make an arrow how the velocity is increasing in different layers, and at this location it is becoming equal to your free stream velocity. So up to here, this is called as your boundary layer. This is called as your boundary layer, and this is the concept that I want you people to understand. Okay, I hope I have answered your question. 307. Okay, okay, very good. Now again we will come back to our slide. This concept I have given about your boundary layer. Okay. Now, next thing. In boundary layer also, the layer you have seen over there, you can see that same, I have zoomed it here. I have taken a small flat plate, okay. Suppose the, okay, this one will be fine. Yeah, a flat plate I have taken, I am highlighting it. A to D, one flat plate is there. Okay, that flat plate is placed inside. Some fluid flow is occurring here on left hand side. Okay, the fluid is flowing with free stream velocity capital U. The free stream velocity capital U is flowing over a flat plate. Okay, then what you will observe, this color, a layer you can see here, up to here, from point A up to this location. From point A up to this location, it is written here, laminar boundary layer. Now, what is the meaning of this that we will see? First, try to understand what are the different stages. The second location, now here you can see it is zigzag in nature, zigzag. Okay, it is not a straight line. Here you can see one zigzag line is there. Okay, let me show you once again. I'll clear it. Yeah, here you can see zigzag lines are there. So it is representing transition zone. Between laminar and turbulent, we have one zone that is called as your transition zone. Okay, so this is your transition zone. And after this, what will happen? After this, there will be turbulent boundary layer. Turbulent boundary layer. Okay. Again, you know the meaning of what is the meaning of this laminar, what is the meaning of this turbulent. We have already studied those things. Okay. So, in your boundary layer, we have seen three zones. The first one is your laminar zone. Second one is your transition zone. Third one is your turbulent zone. You can see in the diagram. Okay. Because this question is normally asked in your examination. That's why I'm telling you. Okay. And this is your leading edge. So can you tell me, anyone in the classroom? Okay. Again, very good and conceptual question I'm asking you. Why this? Suppose at the leading edge, the height of your boundary layer is this much. The height of your boundary layer, you can see here, it keeps on increasing. You can see the height of arrow here that I am representing, it keep on increasing. Think why it is increasing. Try to answer it. When you will think, then your concept will become more and more clear. Don't feel that what if I'll tell the long answer. Whatever is coming to your mind, any concept you tell me. Why this boundary layer is height is increasing? When we are coming to this
So
turbulence.
because of the deviation,
Yes. When, once
after
again,
deviation that will follow the again it is following line path, no sir, again.
again it will follow line path. Okay, but one basic thing. Just now I have told you when I was showing you that figure. Okay, I have told you one term that in fluids and gases, in fluid, molecules are transferring the energy with momentum transfer. Okay, molecules are colliding with different layers. Okay, so momentum transfer is occurring, and this is your leading edge. At point A, you have your leading edge. Okay, uh, and also I have told you that there is stress, shear stress in between the layers of the fluid. Okay, and that is restricting its kinetic energy. Sir, it depends on angle of striking of the plate with high velocity. Okay, very good. Very good answer. One of the students have given. Okay, but we have seen here, now you see, I am trying to draw different layers of the fluid. Different layers of the fluid I am trying to draw in blue color. If you can see it on your computer or mobile screen. Here in different layers, there is stress, shear stress. Okay. And what it is happening, here initially we have only for this, suppose at this location. At this location I am drawing, at this location. We have only this much of solid surface. Okay. So we have friction for only this much area. Now what is happening? Suppose I am coming to location number E. Now I am coming to location number E. What is happening at this? We have now this much of solid interface. So this much area is giving you friction for the fluid flow. Okay. So further the layers are providing stresses to the adjacent layer. Okay. When you come beyond this point, suppose at this location, even at this location, the area of the solid interface, solid fluid interface, it will increase up to this location. Okay. So that's why the solid surface is increasing. So more and more friction it is giving. So that's why the layers are experiencing more and more friction. Okay. So this boundary layer is increasing. One time it will reach, suppose I have considered the case of flat plate. Here I have considered the case of flat plate. Now I will show you one more figure where we have one curved body here we have. This is a curved body represented by A, B, C, S and D. Here you can see up to point number C, or rather up to point number S, up to this location, you can see the boundary layer height is increasing. Boundary layer height is increasing. After this, you can see at this location, there are some curves, or this is called as EDs. This is called as EDs. Or backflow also you can say. This is happening. This phenomena is called as flow separation. Okay, separation of your boundary layer is occurring. So from here you can see this is separation of flow is occurring at this location, and from here a new boundary layer is formed. Okay, so this we will study in detail in the next class. What was my intention is to clear your concept about this boundary layer, and I hope it is clear. So in examination you will be asked with for theory question basic definition like define boundary layer thickness represented by this boundary layer thickness is represented here by delta. Okay, so definition you can write, it is defined as the distance between or distance from the boundary of the solid body measured in y direction. Y direction means vertical direction, to the point where the velocity of fluid is approximately equals to 0.99 times the free stream velocity represented by capital U. Okay, it is denoted by symbol delta. For laminar and turbulent zone, it is represented by, we have seen there are laminar zone, turbulent zone, transition zone. One more zone is there, laminar sublayer. Now, what is that laminar sublayer? Here, that is this is the term. For this, I will clear this all this annotation. Yeah, to show you what is laminar sublayer. Here you can see that laminar sublayer is there on the right hand side, and in the diagram it is represented here in black. I am showing it with black color. It is below, it is under which region? CF, G, D. So it is coming under your turbulent boundary layer. So inside your turbulent boundary layer, there is small thickness. Okay, this is your small thickness. I will mark it in black color. Okay, at this location, you can see there is a small layer where laminar flow is occurring. So this layer, this small sub layer actually, it is layer why? Because it is falling under your turbulent boundary layer. Okay, so this sub layer that I have marked it with your dark color, this is your laminar layer. Okay, so what are the different flow regions? Laminar boundary layer, transition boundary layer, turbulent boundary layer. Within turbulent, just below in turbulent, there is small layer, thin layer that is called as your laminar sublayer. So this diagram you have to remember, okay? And this is very important for your examination point of view. Question can be asked that represent all flow regions considering flow over a flat plate and flow region free stream velocity you can consider as capital U. So based on that diagram, then certain definitions can be asked, which you can see here on the screen. The first, what is boundary layer thickness? So we have seen in the diagram, it is nothing but the distance from the boundary of the solid body measured in y direction, means vertical direction, where the velocity of fluid is approximately equals to the free stream velocity. Numerically, you can write 0.99 times of the free stream velocity. Okay, so this is the definition of your boundary layer thickness. Now, based on this, there are certain definitions like displacement thickness. Now, what is displacement thickness? Try to understand. It is defined as displacement thickness. I am telling you. Okay, this will be the last topic for today. Then we will see next lecture. Displacement thickness represented by delta asterisk. Displacement thickness represented by delta asterisk. It is defined as the distance. It is defined as distance measured perpendicular to the boundary of solid body, where by which the boundary should be displaced. By which the boundary should be displaced to compensate for the reduction in flow rate on account of boundary layer formation. Okay, now try to understand this definition. This is very simple, very simple. I will explain it with this diagram only. I have shown you that we have one plate represented by AD. This is your plate, and I have told you due to the friction, okay, there is some boundary layer over it. So with this boundary layer, this is providing some resistance to the flow. So the actual flow rate will reduce. Okay, the actual flow rate, if here suppose there is no friction, so definitely there will be no boundary layer. If there is no boundary layer, so there will be more flow rate. It means this boundary layer is restricting your fluid flow. It is giving some resistance to the fluid flow. So some amount the flow rate will be reduced. So to compensate that reduction in the fluid flow, what we can do, we can displace this plate in downward direction up to certain height, so that there will be no loss in the flow rate. Okay, so that rate is the amount with which you place this plate to compensate the flow rate. That height is called as your displacement thickness. Okay, so this is the definition of your displacement. It is defined as perpendicular to the boundary of the solid body by which the boundary should be displaced to compensate for the reduction in the flow rate on account of boundary layer formation. It is represented by delta S6, and mathematically it is represented by this expression. There is small derivation for that. The derivation is not asked in your examination. If you have curiosity to know how it is coming, I can show you if time will permit me. Okay, in the next class. Okay, so by this today I will stop my lecture, and I hope it is clear to all of you. If it is clear to all of you, type in the chat here, and then you can log out the meeting. The class is over. Type in the chat box "Yes, clear, sir," and log off from the meeting. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. You can type in the chat box. I will clarify it in the next class. Very good. Good to see your response. Now you can log off the meeting.